Yo, peace, world, peace. Welcome or welcome back to Goddess Dawn Speaks. I'm Goddess Dawn, the one and only. If you didn't know, now you know. Hey. They also call me the $1 trillion goddess. It is a mindset, a vibe, and a frequency. Get into it. You can also call me the queen of info, and I'm here with some more. All right. But before we get started, a special thank you to you all who have been waiting in my chat, child, the chosen ones, the warriors. And you know I gotta say what's up because I think yesterday I forgot. Okay. I see UK Faye was up in here. Wow, Wayne, thank you as always. Yes. I think I saw Ray. Yes, Ray all day, honey. Charlene Tapia. Okay. I gotta get that right. Charlene, gotcha. It's good to see you, hon. What's up? So yeah, we're getting into this lawyer. Did y'all know Diddy had another new lawyer? I'm not talking about Brian Steele. Brian Steele's old news. Matter of fact, he might be getting replaced by this guy. I don't know. All I know is they have announced, well, the paperwork has been filed. I saw the paperwork on Pacer, and I went to look them up. What's up, Anglia? Futi? Hello. Happy Friday, everybody. My God. So, this guy is, what is this guy? Xavier Donaldson. Okay, Xavier Donaldson is his name. And they got him in here to save the day. Before we get into him, look at what TMZ posted on Instagram. Even after this was announced, which was weird, but it says Diddy prosecution team is all white women, led by James Comey's daughter. Okay, so I have to admit, I read that wrong when I first saw the post. I thought it said Diddy's team is all white women. Now they announced this black Xavier coming in. But no, they're talking about the feds. I think we already knew that, but let's see what they have to say. The federal prosecutors who will be trying to secure a conviction against Diddy in his upcoming trial are all white women, led by the daughter of former FBI director James Comey. Details in the link. Child, I think we knew that. I know that the former head of the prosecution was a black man, but then he retired out of there, or he transferred right when Trump was about to come into office. But yeah, all white women. Okay, so let's get to this guy here, child. Let me see what we got on him. So like I said, it got filed officially to the judge of his coming on board. I didn't see the judge ordered that. I think the judge has to approve everything, but they filed that yesterday, I believe, or the day before. It says Sean Diddy Combs adds new lawyer 3 days before his trafficking trial begins. 3 whole days. New York attorney Xavier R. Donaldson filed a notice of appearance in advance of Diddy's trafficking trial. Okay, so they're saying he's a New York-based attorney, filed a notice of appearance stating he will be joining Combs' high-powered defense team. According to his LinkedIn, Donaldson has his own legal practice since 2023 and previously spent 24 years at a New York City law firm. He began his career as a prosecutor in the Bronx. Let's see. Donaldson, they say, has received, let me put his picture. This is who we're talking about here. But this can't be a recent picture, is it? They said he was 24 years in a New York firm, and then as of 2023, 2 years ago, he started his own firm. So that's 26 years in law. Well, that's the crux of the career, but there's probably some stuff before that too. He looks a little young. Or is it just a black don't crack? Okay. It's been a while. Yes, it has. Sorry, I was reading the chat. All right. So, yeah, this is who he's bringing on board. Now, let's see him in action. I have a little video here. Let's see. Let's just get an idea of who we're working with.
Back now with criminal defense attorney Xavier Donaldson and psychologist Dr. Jeffrey Gardia. And before the break, as intriguing as it may sound to all of us, you think Durst could get off in this case. If you were his attorney, how would you defend him against the first-degree murder charge in L.A.?
We always have to go back to the fact that he didn't do it, and they have to prove he did it. There is absolutely no reason to believe that this man, knowing that he's taped, asking for this documentary, is going to say what he said, knowing that he's taped and that, he's guilty. There's no way he's going to say that.
Okay, let me also add, I got to make sure that this is the actual guy. I don't feel like this is the actual guy. He's talking about Robert Durst. He's not talking about Diddy, just to clarify. This video is just something that was already published. I just wanted to see what he was about. It says Xavier Donaldson, a criminal defense attorney, explains how Robert Durst could be acquitted. Okay, let me just listen a little more.
Make the jury believe that is so far-fetched from the truth that there's no conceivable way that confession was meant to be a true statement. More importantly, if you look at the confession, it sounds like 3 or 4 different people are talking at one time. Now, I wouldn't go with the insanity defense, because you have to admit you did something to go with the insanity defense. We're not saying he did it. There's no conceivable way he did it. They have to prove he was there. They have to prove that he did it. They have to prove that he intended to kill that woman. There is no evidence that I've seen so far that proves that.
A bit of sarcasm. What do they do? Kill them all, of course.
I mean, you would look at the tone of the way he said it. Look at how he said it, whether he was snickering, what happened, what did he say before he said it, what did he say after he said it. Don't take just that statement alone and say, what did I do? I killed them all. No jury's going to believe that he meant to say that he killed them all.
Now, you read faces, voices, body language all the time. What do you make of it, Doc?
Well, I think you're right, Xavier, that we're hearing, it sounds like a couple of different voices. It speaks to me of someone who is mentally unhinged.
Wait. This guy doesn't seem like he's going to be able to come and save Diddy from the feds.
And then while he's on TV, while you know he's being documented, while you know he's being recorded, he tells the world, I killed them all. Absolutely not.
And he dismembered the last person.
That's not coming into
evidence. Who
was
his neighbor.
That's not coming into evidence.
Okay, so let me ask you about the other piece of evidence. All right, he spoke, but also that evidence of that letter. Mm-hmm. A letter that was sent, a note that was sent to police, alerting them to the cadaver of Susan Berman.
Right.
And a letter he had previously written during her life, and the handwriting was ironically very similar, and the misspelling of Beverly and Beverly Hills. Isn't that evidence enough to show it was done by the same man?
Absolutely not. I mean, very similar does not get you a conviction. You have several.
Now I see why Diddy picked him. He said, you can't even believe all this what seems to be concrete evidence. This was about the Robert Durst trial. Did you guys follow that one? I did not follow that one, but it sounds intriguing. So this is the guy who's coming in to save Diddy. Is this not the housekeeper's doctor? Mrs. Kiki, hey. What's going on, Juti? Good to see you. Happy Friday. Yes. We are here. We are alive, child. So thankful. So thankful. Okay. Now we're talking about Xavier Donaldson, who has signed on into, the court documents, has filed his little memo saying, I'm going to be there. I'll be there. He going to be there representing Diddy. He has 4 new firms. I don't know if this lawyer is from one of those 4 firms. I didn't mean to say he has 4 new firms. He has 4 firms working for him, and I'm not sure if this guy I think he has his own firm. So he's coming in independently, probably more so as a consultant at this point, because there is no way he can fully represent this guy. Maybe they want to use him as the face. I don't know, because he doesn't seem like he's going to be able to do what they think he's going to do or what they need him to do. Okay. I'll be damned. Oh, the Housewives franchise. Let me go back up. Oh, this guy right here on the right with the yellow tie. Okay, I think I do recognize him if that's who you're talking about. All right, now, let's see. I don't know.
Handwriting experts will say very similar is not sufficient for a conviction. But more importantly, I mean, this woman was writing books about her family and mobsters. There were about 20 or 30 people who had motive to kill her and set him up to be the killer.
But he did admit that he had written that at first. That it was his handwriting. He had sent that note to her while she was alive.
That's
and
fine.
He misspelled the name Beverly as it was whoever the killer was or whoever sent the note to the police alerting to her body.
That's fine. But that still does not mean that he wrote that letter.
You know something? If I ever have a case, I want you as my
Yeah,
lawyer.
I was thinking the same thing, and God forbid I ever do need you as an attorney. But if I do, you're the man.
We'll
But
take
also,
care.
we were talking before during the break. I mean, a man who has $100 million, he can assemble a dream team as O.J. Simpson
Absolutely.
did.
Absolutely. The resources match the resources. Normally, when you're in a criminal case, the prosecution, of course, they're the state or they're the federal government. They have more resources. When you have $100 million at your disposal, then you can match resource against resource.
And so let me ask you this question. If you have $100 million, why are you in this position in your life right now?
Good
That
question.
speaks to the insanity.
Because he's innocent until proven guilty.
Let me ask you then, real quick, because you're a former assistant district attorney.
Yes.
From the prosecution point of view, how would you prosecute this case?
Exactly opposite everything I just said. Just disregard everything I just said and go the opposite. The handwriting makes him guilty. What he said on the statement makes him guilty. The fact that I would try to somehow bring the evidence from his former activity into that case to show a pattern of violent action.
Even violent action, the fact that he admitted with his first, with the first wife, that he beat her. It was a very, very severe domestic violence issue, and he admitted to that. This is an individual who's even terrorized his own family, the real estate family that he comes from, where they want nothing to do with him, and they believe that he's guilty of being a psychopathic killer.
Well, damn. I did not follow that trial. I guess I must have missed out. But this guy, he said, if you were on the prosecution side, what would you say? He said the opposite of everything I literally just said. Forget everything I just said and go the opposite. And that's what he would say in the case of Diddy as well. If Diddy wasn't paying you, then what would you be saying about this case? The opposite of everything I'm saying now. The opposite of anything I'm filing. The opposite of anything I've told these guys. Okay? That's it. Very simple for him. So let's check out his LinkedIn real quick. So he's saying here he's a litigator, a professor, a speaker, and a crisis manager as well. He's out of New York City. Looks like he's pretty active on here. Let's see. So he's been, like I said, his own personal, independent Esquire self from 2023 of March to present. White collar criminal defense, business litigation, and something else. I don't want to click. Okay, so prior to that, he was 24 years and 4 months at Donaldson and Chiliest LLP. Donaldson and Chiliest. And Donaldson is his last name. So he was 24 years prior. Was that his daddy's firm, or is he just not admitting that he was also independent prior? He made it seem like he was with some big firm. Donaldson and Chiliest represent clients charged with complex federal and state cases involving unaliving, international, national, and local narcotic conspiracies. The street pharmacist, bank fraud, complex financial instruments fraud, Davis-Bacon Act, and related Wow. And then prior to that, he was a partner. Actually, it says from 2000 to 2024. That's the same years. Okay, so Donaldson and Chilius. So there he was a partner. And prior to that, he was at Brooklyn Law School. Okay. Says he also was the assistant district attorney at Bronx County District Attorney's Office from 94 to 99. 94 to 99 while he was in law school. He was assistant district attorney as well. Am I wrong? Well, I'm wrong. Scratch that. Prior to that, let's see, 99. What? Yeah, it was right before he started his own. What? I don't, something's off. Yeah, he had to still been in school. Okay. Yes, please hit the like button. And we're talking about Diddy's new lawyer. Okay. They need to get a brother on the staff. Because remember, the last one left. That was the only black guy I think they had with him. That lawyer said, I've seen enough. I want to keep my soul. I ain't trying to go to hell with y'all. I'm out. All right. So definitely talking about Xavier Donaldson here. This is his LinkedIn. Just confirming, that he has the expertise that Diddy needs. He went to Howard, which was Diddy's. Well, I can't even say alma mater. He didn't graduate. Diddy didn't graduate from Howard. He got a hell of a reputation from Howard, though. Let's see. He was at Howard from 91 to 94. When was Diddy at Howard? Prior to that, he was at St. Augustine's University from 86 to 90. Okay, so Howard's where he got his JD. But first, he got his bachelor's at St. Augustine's. Okay. Interesting. Well, let's see what he's talking about. Oh, this is a 9 months ago post, but he said, my brother, the legendary Thomas B. Donaldson, and I just completed a 4-week complex trial in Manhattan accusing my client of participating in a wide-ranging narcotic conspiracy with evidence consisting of video, audio, phone records, text messages, voucher drugs, and of course, several witnesses. Fortunately, my client was not convicted of anything and will live to fight another day. What? He got him off? Mentors, Liberty City, St. Augustine, HUSL, stand up. But what stands out to me the most about this trial, and I've done a lot of trials, is not the result, but rather but for my Batson challenge and what everything else going on in this case. So Juti says soon there won't be enough chairs in the court for all Diddy's attorneys. Wow. Well, this is of him. Do y'all think he's up for the task? Is he up for the challenge, child? I don't know. Let me see. There's also an article or an interview actually that he did. Let me see. He was in the spotlight for the New York State Bar. The New York State Bar interviewed him. And I'm just curious, like, who's taking this case at this last minute, if not other than for the clout? Because I don't even know. I wonder how much they're even paying him. Because them other 4 firms, I know they've been sucking him dry. He's not a magician. He's up for it, but he's not going to be able to make no magic happen, not for Diddy. Who knows what he's up to? Diddy probably still doing that dark magic. So this is some of the interview from the New York State Bar Association. They asked him, what do you find most rewarding about being an attorney? He said, I love the euphoria, the sense of accomplishment, and the hugs of gratitude after securing favorable results in complex federal cases, state unaliving trials, and multi-defendant conspiracy matters. But for me, there's nothing more rewarding than when young people of color from challenged, trauma-induced neighborhoods, very similar to where I was reared, appear inspired when they see me enter or exit a federal or state courthouse, or when an elder person gives me a genuine smile of, you make us so proud. These brief encounters remind me that my presence as a litigator is welcomed and necessary in courtrooms across this country. Okay, so you get a lot from a person from the way they answer questions. Now, I don't know if this was something he had prepared ahead. Did they email him these questions and he could sit there and ponder and use AI for the best answer? Or was this off the cuff? Was he just in a room with the person or on the phone? I don't know. But from that, I love the euphoria. So he gets a high off of being an attorney. He likes the way people look at him and admire him, and the way he walks in and out of the courtroom, and people seeing this man walk in and out the courtroom. And in his opinion and what he's saying here, he's winning cases. So he's coming out a winner in these cases and getting a high off of how it makes him feel. So he and Diddy have a couple of things in common, getting high off their own supply. What do you find most challenging about being an attorney? As a criminal defense attorney, my challenge is ensuring that every judge understands why before any of my clients are sentenced. The statistics clearly provide evidence of the correlation between the failure of the birth lottery and criminal conduct. Yet oftentimes the goal of punishment usurps the why related to the criminal conduct. In my opinion, if the why is not thoroughly considered prior to sentencing a defendant, then justice is not served. Okay, there you have it. We were reading some filings last time, a couple of days ago, and something that came up was his past prior to all of this. Who is he? And I said they're gonna try to bring in his past trauma, because from what we understand, Mama Combs was throwing freak-offs when Diddy was a kid, and him and his friend were running around the house. His friend who lived with them, with him and his moved in with them, and they was running around the house while the freak-offs was in action. While the freak-offs were happening, they were able to just run around, go into rooms, peek into cracks of doors. I don't know, but I know that too much and too soon for these boys. Now, I told y'all the one that was admitting this, the one that moved in with him as a kid, was living deep in the woods. Like, you could not find this guy if he gave you even an address. You need to have a guide, okay? Hell, and if you're not careful, that guide might end up being Bigfoot out there in the wilderness. So here he's saying the judge needs to understand the why of any of his defendants that he's representing. So he wants the judge to know why. Do you know why this is happening? Do you know what happened to him when he was young? Do you know what he saw? Do you know what he experienced? Are they going to have his mother get on the stand? I've never seen that. I don't know if that's a thing. Juti, he's about to hit a down. Ray Ray said, can't wait till Monday. I'm kind of excited. Here we go. While Wayne said, guilty, guilty, guilty. Hey, Ray Ray. All right, y'all, listen. I just wanted to come on here and give a little something. I ain't trying to go too deep today, but we just had to, see who this guy is. Xavier Donaldson, new Diddy attorney. Trial starts Monday, okay? And he's on board to save the day. Now, they also asked him, who is your hero or heroine in the legal world? He said, I admire attorneys and jurists who exhibit courage under fire by doing what's right simply because it's the right thing to do. From the late, great civil rights attorney O.T. Wells to Anthony Rico, that's the guy that stepped down, to Anthony Rico's intellectual yet unabashedly personal commitment to the representation of death-eligible clients. He named Anthony Rico in this interview. And you have to know this is most likely before he even thought about being on Diddy's case. And Anthony Rico left this case, child. 2, he goes on, Judge Shira Shinlin's courageous decision in Floyd, which ended the New York Police Department's stop and frisk policies. These giants continue me of my responsibilities as an attorney to bring truth to power when representing my clients. It kind of begs the question, did Anthony Rico refer Xavier Donaldson to the team to be, come on board in his absence? What advice would you give young lawyers starting their career? He says, young lawyers should be true to themselves, distinguish themselves at whatever they're doing, and find someone they trust that has experience and success in similar pursuits. The people instrumental to my growth are those who provided honest, enlightening, and sage advice regarding career choices, strategies, and work-life balance. Wow, and I'm wondering if one of those people is Anthony Rico, the lawyer that stepped down from Diddy's case about a month or more ago. They asked, what or who inspired you to become a lawyer? I became a lawyer because my older brother, Thomas, also a lawyer, explained to me the importance of attorneys and judges and how they are the bedrocks of change in this country. So his brother is also a lawyer, Thomas Donaldson. Okay, I'm gonna have to look him up. What do you think that most people misunderstand about lawyers and the legal system? I don't care about that. If you practice in a different area of law, what would it be? Okay. What is your passion outside of work in the law? Aside from my family, it would have to be sports, any sport, similar to the adversarial nature of a courtroom. I simply love the competitiveness of sports. I think I have tried to play and win just about every sport possible. So he's competitive. That's another thing about the guy. And there's a lot to compete with 4 firms all representing this one client. Knowing Diddy's nature, he probably pits them against each other as well. So, yeah, what do y'all think about this guy? And Brian, Young Thug's ex-lawyer, what's his name again? Brian, we ain't heard much about Brian lately. We ain't heard much about Brian. All right, so what are y'all talking about? They are choosing the jury Monday. They're going to start jury selection. I'm going to have a live separate this weekend about the jury instructions and the things, because it's all really interesting stuff. And it also they continue to give us insight on what we're looking ahead to with regard to this trial. We are going to hear and see things, well, more so probably read things that we've been waiting to know. There's a lot of things in question with regard to this trial. Who are these extra victims they threw in there? And who are these witnesses who, if they weren't cooperating with the feds, would probably be sitting next to Diddy in the courtroom as a defendant? Who are these people going to be? Now, they're going to give everybody a pseudonym or just certain people? They said victim 3 said too that she is not using a pseudonym. She wants to use her name as well, like Cassie. So whoever victim 3 is said, I'm using my name. And they're also the person they stated in a filing. They've decided not to pursue the angle of the medical procedures, the forced medical procedures. And they said it was pertaining to victim 3. So it wasn't my theory, which was Cassie's breast implants. They said it was victim 3 and that they're no longer going to use that because the defense had something to say about that. And they said, no worries, we're not going to even go that route anyway. Never mind. But they did say it was victim 3, not victim 1. Yeah, I think I'm going to end this here as well. Like Juti said, enjoy your Friday. See you on Monday for the action. I don't even know what time it's supposed to start. Like, I'm probably just going to go on my regular time and we're going to have to just act like we in the coat room reading those live tweets, child. I'm definitely looking forward to what comes out. We're going to probably have, after the jury selection is opening statements, right? And then their first witness will be called. The prosecution, I believe they go first. Then they cross-examine. And that's where really the dirt be coming out, child. They're going to try to pull so much on these witnesses and especially these victims. I'm pretty sure whatever dirt they have or can get on these people is going to be thrown in that courtroom. They're going to be slinging mud, y'all. So, yeah, I'll definitely be here, but I'm going to try to come in between with the jury stuff because it's very interesting. So hopefully you are subscribed. Make sure you check my my channel. Also, the Nosy Goddess, Nozey, for uploads over there. And also my community wall on this channel. I have a community wall that I try to encourage, not just y'all, but myself, by posting positive affirmations and whatnot. It's very important to keep your vibe up, keep your frequency high, so you can attract all the best things that the world has to offer. You got to be seen. In order to be seen, you got to be lit. In order to be lit, your vibe and your frequencies need to be high, child. Just telling you. All right, I'm going to end it here. Enjoy your weekend. Again, happy Friday. Till next time. Bye.